Hey guys, what is up? It's Card Shuffler 99 here today, and we're going to show you guys one of the world's best card tricks that David Blaine performed on Jimmy Kimmel. But the performance might have been taken down from YouTube, so we'll have another link in the description where you guys can actually see him perform it somewhere else. Before we get into this trick, really cool trick, if you guys are interested in getting some free gift cards, all you guys have to do is click the link in the description for Free My Apps. Click that link, download free apps. You guys can get free gift cards. Also, guys, we are doing a $50 Amazon gift card giveaway for the month of September. If you guys want to be entered, all you guys have to do is like this video, make sure you are subscribed to the channel, notifications have to be on, and you have to comment one time on one video. What do you like about our channel or that specific video? We're giving away $50 in Amazon gift cards. Let's go ahead and get into the tutorial for this trick.
Okay guys, so like Robert said, we are not actually going to be doing a performance for this trick just because it is such a complex trick that this video would be 15-20 minutes long if we actually did a performance with it. So just to try to keep it a little bit shorter, if most of you guys probably have seen this trick performed before, so you're going to know what I'm talking about. But if you don't, we will have a link down in the description. Go watch David Blaine's performance and then come back here and then you guys can watch the tutorials. Once again, I want to keep this video as short as I can. Just because it is going to be a little complex, okay? Just to give you guys a quick brief overview of what this trick is going to be like, David Blaine basically allows a spectator to select and sign any card they would like. From there, he proceeds to ask them to eliminate certain suits, and then basically he will shrink the deck to one final suit, and their card will be the only card stuck within that suit, okay? So that's essentially what's going to be happening within this trick. So let's get into how this is going to be performed. So what you're going to need to do is you're going to need to separate your deck of cards into some specific piles here. Now, for this trick, there are some slights that you're going to have to do. I do recommend plastic cards actually do work really well, but obviously you can use any deck. I will get into more detail about which decks are going to work best for this trick later on in the video. But for now, let's just go along with this. So what you're going to need to do is you're going to need to separate hearts, diamonds, and just black cards in general. So the black cards don't need to be basically separated into spades or clubs. You just have to shuffle them up and keep that in one separate pile. And then obviously the diamonds need to be separated as well as the hearts. Now, the reason for this is David Blaine is going to basically eliminate all suits except for hearts, okay? So, once again, if you did watch his performance and all his performances, he actually does make every single suit disappear except for hearts. Now, he does make it seem like the spectator is getting a free choice as to which suits they are going to select to basically eliminate from the deck, but that is not actually true. Every single time he only basically brings it down to hearts, so I'm going to explain how that works a little bit later. That kind of gets into the idea of magician's choice and something like that. So once again, we're going to go with hearts. Now, if you guys wanted to basically whittle it down to any other suit, you could do the same thing. So if you wanted to do diamonds, for example, you would basically do the same setup. Hearts, diamonds, and then all the black cards. If you wanted to do, for example, spades, you would do spades, clubs, and then all the red cards. And obviously, same thing for clubs. You would basically do same thing here, and or clubs, spades, and then you would have all the red cards in this pile. So whichever suit you're going to whittle it down to, let's say we're doing hearts, you're going to take all the black cards, put these together, make sure they're shuffled up. And then, obviously, you're going to need the hearts and diamonds in separate piles. Now, these cards can be shuffled within the pile. They don't have to be in order, so you can shuffle these up any way you want. Okay, so this is going to be your setup. Now, what you're going to do is you're going to start out with the hearts. You're going to basically put the hearts in your hand, followed by the diamonds. And you could hold a pinky break for now just because you're going to need to get to that card a little bit later. And then just dump the rest of the black cards on top. So basically what you have is the black cards on the bottom, followed by diamonds, and the hearts are going to be at the top. Now, what you do need to do here is what you can do actually is basically put your pinky into the deck, and what you're going to do here is you're going to basically kind of transfer your hand just like this, and transfer that break into a thumb break. Now, the reason is what you're going to need to do is basically block push all these cards, all these hearts, over. So what you can do is you can put your index finger underneath and basically start spreading, because what you want is not for them to select a heart. So the spectator is not allowed to select a heart in this trick. So what you could do here is basically, once you have your break, transfer it to a thumb break, whatever you want, picky break. What you can do here is you're going to need to block push all these cards. What you can do is put your index finger, like I said, underneath and basically hold it there as you start to spread. But what you want to do is basically hold on to these cards essentially and not let them select one of these, and basically open up the rest of the deck for them to select a card. Typically, people are going to select cards from the middle of the deck, so that's going to work. Now, you do not want them to select one of these. If you want to be careful with this, you can do like a riffle force where you basically riffle down the deck like this. They can theoretically select a diamond, but just to have that color correlation of, you know, black to red and having their only black card appear in the, you know, the red hearts basically, that's kind of stronger. So I do recommend you try to get them to basically select a card from the bottom being a black card, okay? So what you're going to do from here, like I said, you're going to want to hold on to these cards and basically just block push them as you spread the rest of the deck. Now, keep your index finger underneath because you are going to need to like recollect that break a little bit later. So once again, you're going to go through, let's say they select the 3 of clubs. As you bring all of this back, okay, once again, because you did have your index finger underneath this packet, you are still able to reclaim this break here. And that's going to be important. Now, what you're going to do is you're going to have them sign this card, and there's going to be a lot of misdirection involved in this trick. Now, a couple ways you can get the spectators, especially if you have a big group with you, you want them to basically keep their eyes on you, basically. You don't want their eyes to be on the deck while this is happening. So, a common way you can do this, especially if you have a big group of people, what you're going to do is have them sign the card, and this is where you're basically preparing this part of the trick. So, as they sign the card, you basically tell them, okay, I'm going to turn around and you're going to show this card to everybody. Okay, so they're going to show the card to everybody, and while you're doing that, as you're turning around, all you have to do is slip this bottom packet of cards, so this is the diamonds and all the black cards, into your pocket. Okay, now this is kind of easy because all you have to do is basically turn around, say, you know, show your card around, sign your card, I don't want to look at your card kind of thing. And then what you're going to do is basically you're going to have all the hearts here. Now, you need to make these hearts seem like a full deck of cards. Now, this is where plastic cards are actually going to come in handy. What you're going to do is you're basically going to make it seem as if this is a full deck. So you're going to do something just like this, and this is going to make the deck seem or appear full, right? So just looking at that, it's going to appear full. To most people, obviously, if you're going to show it like that, that's not going to look good, or like that, that's not going to look good, obviously. But if you hold it at a downwards angle, it does actually kind of look like a full deck of cards, and even on the side a little bit, it will look like a full deck of cards. So, once again, this whole idea here is going to happen when you're turned around. Now, like I said, plastic cards do work well, one being because as you bend the cards and bend them back and basically release pressure, plastic cards don't basically keep the bend. So, like, if you take like a paper card and you bend it, it doesn't go back. You know what I mean? So, like, these plastic cards, they go right back to shape. So that's going to help this process become a little bit quicker and a little bit easier for you to basically grasp, okay? Another thing you can do is if you have paper cards, use a thicker stock. That's going to help you a lot. Because when you have a thicker stock, it's basically going to allow for the spaces to be a little bit smaller. And that's going to make it, because obviously if you have like this giant ass space there, it's going to appear a little bit too obvious or a little bit easier to spot out. So if you have these giant breaks there, that's going to be a problem. So that's where the thicker cards are going to come in handy. So once again, all you're going to do to get this move here is I'm going to basically place the cards, and you're going to basically need to feel around with this. It doesn't really matter where you put the cards. Some people want to put it in their fingertips. Others want to put it deeper in their hand like this. I like to put it about midway. All I'm doing is I'm bending the cards like this, and then I'm slowly releasing pressure. As I do that, you can see the cards are starting to basically create these like air pockets, or these little holes and gaps in between. So that's what you're kind of looking for here, is you're looking for that sort of gap and these little gaps here. And what you're going to do is once you have that, you're going to grab on maybe middle towards bottom, and you're going to basically spring these up just like that. So it's going to be slightly thicker near the top, and you want these even gaps. That's going to look best as you're holding the deck here. Now, essentially all you have to do at this point is you turn back around, they sign their card, everybody is basically, you know, they know what the card is. You're going to take it back, and you're going to basically pretend like this is a full deck. Obviously, you want to work with the angles here. Obviously, looking at our angle, the camera's pretty much right on top of the card mat here, so you can't really see too much. But if they are a little bit further away, what you can do is kind of angle it down, and that's going to make it look really good. Take their signed card. You're going to put it somewhere into the middle. Once again, keep pretending as if this is your full deck. Once again, you don't want anybody to the side of you because then they're going to see, so you're going to push that in just like that. Now, basically what's going to happen here is David Blaine is going to enact some Magician's Choice, okay? Now, what this is basically the idea that he's going to basically make sure that they select hearts. So you notice what he's going to say is he's going to ask them to name one suit that's not the suit of the selected card, in this case, clubs, okay? So, in this case, he's going to say name one suit to eliminate. At this point, there's really 3 suits that they could select. Now, in the Jimmy Kimmel performance, the spectator actually did say hearts, which is what he needs them to say. So he said, okay, hearts, right? And then he basically did the entire trick, and then it got whittled down to the hearts except for their card. Let's say they don't say hearts. Now, you notice he does say a suit to eliminate. So oftentimes, a lot of people, they don't know what he means, and when they say hearts, and then he whittles it down to just the hearts, it makes sense to them because they said hearts. Now, if they said something like, for example, once again, they can't say clubs. If they said spades, he would say, bam, spades is gone, okay? The second you say that spades is gone, then you basically say, okay, now we have the hearts and we have the diamonds, okay? He says, choose one. That's all he has to say. Just say, choose one. So let's say they say hearts. That's when he would say, okay, hearts, is that what you want? And then he would whittle this down, and basically it would be hearts. If they said diamonds, he would basically say, okay, we'll eliminate diamonds as well, and that also makes sense. So this is the idea of Magician's Choice. Now, once you have this, all you kind of do is basically angle it down a little bit and basically start pushing this lightly in, just like this, and kind of giving the illusion that the deck is shrinking, just like that. And then after that, you can basically show that all the cards are hearts except for their selected card. So once again, you're going to do Magician's Choice. You ask them to name a suit to eliminate, okay? Once again, if they say hearts, then you basically just, you're done. You just say, okay, we're going to go with hearts, and then you basically show that now you have all the hearts. If they say something else, you say, okay, we're going to eliminate that, and then after that, you basically have the last part, which is going to be Magician's Choice as well, where you just say name one, and then you obviously have to whittle it down to hearts. Alright guys, that was a really long explanation, but I hope that does clear things up for you guys. Obviously, we like to go in depth on these tricks to make it a little bit easier to understand. But yeah, that is it for today, guys. This is a really cool trick, and anyway, this is Card Shuffler 99. Peace out.